in Karnataka, Prajwal Revanna, a Lok Sabha candidate for JDS, has been accused of rape leading to his booking by the police amid a sexual abuse case. This is the second case against him, and he reportedly fled to Germany after the Karnataka government formed an SIT. Rahul Gandhi criticized him, accusing him of raping 400 women and called out Prime Minister Modi for endorsing him. The SIT issued a lookout notice signaling his imminent arrest upon return. Prajwal denied being in Bangalore and vowed that the truth will prevail. The Ministry of External Affairs disclosed that he travelled to Germany on a diplomatic passport without political clearance. JDS suspended him pending further investigation, and his uncle, former Chief Minister H.D. Kumaraswamy, also distanced himself from this case. But the conversation is not yet over. This abuse is what we're getting to know has been going on since 2004. We'll talk about the sensitivities that prevail in this particular manner and matter. And of course, we'll also talk about powerful politicians getting away literally with murder. Ambassador Ashok Sajjanha, former diplomat, joins us on the show. Sanjay Sahai, former IPS officer from Bangalore, is also with us on the program. Chandni Preeti Shah, political analyst, is joining us on the program as well. Dr. Esther Maria Selvam joins us as well. She's a human rights activist. And Shamshavish Rain, advocate Supreme Court, also joins us on the program. All right. Mr. Sanjay Sahai, I'll begin with you. I hope you can hear me. Mr. Sahai? Sir, I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
All right, I can hear you now, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
this is a very important case, and this is a very important family. You know, the grandfather was a prime minister, the uncle was a chief minister, this person himself was contesting for the Lok Sabha seat. His father is an MLA who's also accused of rape. And, you know, the entire family is full of powerful people. What, according to you, took so long for such grave details to come out, and what becomes of those people, of those victims that have been tortured and traumatized by this family? Even the ones who kept quiet about it, need to be pulled up.
So we will start as far as the present story goes, which is around a year back. I mean, he got a gag order injunction against whatever material was available with his driver need not come out in the public. So we start from there and till around election time, when these tapes were distributed all around the place. So suo motu cases could have been registered, it could have been done by the police, it could have been done by the judicial authorities, but somehow that did not happen. So that's point number one. Second, which I've been talking about, is that had these tapes not come to the forefront, then the killing fields would have gone on undisturbed. So there's the second part of the story. Thirdly, the nature of evidence which is available by way of digital evidence and the capability today of technology to unravel patterns, groupings, details, forensics of these particularly 2,976 videos, if I am right, will be able to throw up conclusive evidence with regards to the digital evidence available. It will also throw up what we call as a metadata, which means all data related to this data, which primarily means some 14, 15, 16 parameters on the nature of recording, the gadget used for the recording. So that will be a very clinching evidence in case of the witnesses getting hostile. And there is a case where it has been registered, and there is a magistrate statement also that has been given. Now the three complaints which have been registered so far gives you a fair idea of the gamut of crimes which were being committed. So we start with that 47-year-old former domestic help to a 44-year-old party worker, and then this 20-year-old boy who has given a complaint regarding kidnapping and abduction of his mother. So broadly what is happening is, in the political pocket burrows, in the underbelly of democracy, I think even if things are known, it does not hit the enforcement agencies, or there is a general inclination that until and unless a complaint comes to us, we did not start with the investigation process or taking in cognizance whatever offense has taken place. So broadly, this is where we stand. But from the present standpoint, if you piece all the evidence together and provide an environment in which all these women can be brought or being given an atmosphere where they can come and give a complaint, Because those faces are known, those people are known, the video evidence is already there, which can be pieced together, and we can come to an approximate figure or maybe an exact figure that this number of women out of these
Okay.
2,970 videos are impacted.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you are talking about the social order part of it, now the order part of it is impacted in a manner that you can even go to the extent of saying that is the crime against society, where the positional power has been used against people who lack those positional power, and they continue to do so for quite a long period of time.
Okay, all right. Shamsharish, in fact, Bhavani Revanna, who is, his mother, in fact, had an accident in Bangalore just a few days back. A biker ran into her SUV and, sort of scratched the car a little bit. And she got out of the car and told him that he should have died under a bus instead of ramming into her car. Now, this is the kind of leadership that this family is used to. This is the kind of clout that this family is used to. Is there any doubt in your mind that all these crimes were committed by this man and his family?
There's no doubt at all in my mind, since as Mr. Sanjay said, that there are so many documents against him. There are these videos over there, the kind of statement that's being made in the media also, and especially him running away from India. So these are clearly, it really shows that this person is not of a decent mindset, and his intention is not good. And of course, he knows that extradition case will actually take years. 10 years at least he can stay out, he can have a good life there. So this is the reason probably he's there, and especially when there is elections happening here in India, so he wants that let things settle down. If in case someone from his family comes in the power, then it's actually easier for them to brush the crime under the carpet. So let's see, but I think that this sit that is there, that probe would be happening. I think things would be revealed very nicely, and since now the media is also talking about it, so it won't be that easy for them to push up the complete crime under the carpet.
Ambassador Sajjanhar, there is an extradition treaty that exists between India and Germany. It was formulated in 2001. In fact, the last time somebody was extradited, it was 2019, and that was an extradition that happened government to government. There were no courts involved. Do you think this is also such a sensitive case where the Indian government can diplomatically request Germany to extradite this particular person?
Yes, of course.
No, this is for Ambassador Sajjanhar. I'm sorry, Ambassador Sajjanhar.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Vineet. Yes, I think the gravity of the case definitely does suggest, but normally the extradition cases have taken place whenever there are orders from the court, because when I was outside, I was in Geneva, for instance, and we'd handled a large number of extradition cases. And at that time, it used to be, this whole procedure, it's a very long, it's a very lengthy, it's a very technical process. And there are so many documents that have to be completed, they have to be accurate, because they have to be submitted to the courts of the host country, the place where this individual is based. And they have to be really signed by a very high authority. I know at that time it used to be the External Affairs Minister who had to personally sign these documents for extradition of an individual from a foreign country. So, while it is good that there is an extradition treaty, but, I don't think we can imagine that we can expect that, because of the existence of the extradition treaty, if we make a request today, tomorrow or day after, there is going to be action. I think it's because these cases will be taken to the court. As we have seen also, I think the case in the United Kingdom, we have there are people and against whom cases have been going on for such a long time, whether it is Vijay Mallya or, the other person, the diamond merchant who was there, I forget his name. But, these cases have a tendency to continue for a long time, and if the focus of attention of the government, of the courts, of the law enforcement authorities, they are taken away from this, then they can languish for a long time. And I think that is the danger that I see, because right now I think what the first speaker had mentioned, that this issue was really available to the law enforcement authorities, but for their own reasons they didn't file any case, maybe because the family concern is being very powerful. So if there is a change in the political equations in the state, what could possibly happen? So I think one needs to be cognizant of all those slips between the cup and the mouth, as one would say. And so I think there is need to take action quickly and in a very proactive manner.
All right, Esther, do you think it would be disservice to the women of Hassan if we consider this case in which Prajwal is involved entirely as a sex scandal? This is predominantly a case of how absolute power corrupts absolutely, and how these people are able to get away with abuse for years and years. Something very similar was also seen in Sandesh Khali recently. And again, political pressure was mounted, people were intimidated, and that's exactly what the problem is. It's not a sex scandal, it's abuse of power.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you. In fact, if we look at the current case, it clearly exhibits the vulnerability of the women from the marginalized community. How they have been actually from the deprived community, how they are actually subjected to these kind of sexual harassment. Actually protecting these kind of vulnerable women from sexual harassment or rape, actually it requires multifaceted approach, both at the end of preventing as well as we are able to provide some kind of a support system to ensure this. Definitely this is actually abuse of power. Men who are actually in a powerful position, they are actually, they are actually taking advantage of their position and they are harassing the women from the marginalized community. We do have certain amendments, post-Nirbhaya case, or we do have Sexual Harassment Act in place. Strong legal framework are there in place. However, what we do see that women are not very much aware of these legal provisions that are available for them. In fact, the local complaints committee that is supposed to operate from at the district level, it's really a question. Many places, it is not in action, and also it is actually required at the block level or at the panchayat level. And these kind of information has to be actually disseminated to women. Information is power. When women know that these kind of legal provisions are available, they should be able to actually take advantage of the same. When the power is actually abused to exploit women, definitely they will be able to protect themselves. And we need to ensure that these kind of legal framework that are available, that needs to be enforced in all spheres, whether it's a workplace or educational institutions or in public places. And in speedy manner, response has to be given once the complaints actually received. And the perpetrators has to be held accountable through fair and transparent investigation and subsequently the consequences. And also we need to ensure that confidential support services for survivors, including counseling, legal aid, medical assistance, all at one place. It has to be provided to them, for example, one-stop crisis center, where women can immediately access these kind of services that are there. And on a regular basis, we also need to promote education about these kind of sexual harassment, and we need to take concern in different workplaces or educational institutions. There needs to be a lot of awareness needs to be raised, and these kind of power dynamics has to be overcome in this manner. And definitely we need to actually provide empowerment program for these kind of women from the marginal committee, particularly the domestic workers who are just confined to houses where often it is not considered to be the workplace. And we need to actually build their confidence, and we have to assert them, and we have to actually develop certain kind of self-defense skills for these women. We have to encourage them to speak out, and we have to definitely promote women leadership so that these kind of issues can be addressed very well. And diverse leadership definitely can help in terms of challenging these kind of power structures that actually exist in our society. We need to actually raise a lot of awareness. We have to take everyone on board so that these kind of harmful stereotypes could be challenged, and representations of gender and power in media and various popular culture could be very well done. And we need to actually promote positive portrayals of consent, respect, healthy relationship. And we need to actually foster community partnership to
Right.
address these kind of root causes of sexual harassment, such as
Right.
disparity and social norms, and condone violence against women.
Absolutely. Great points there, Esther. Chandni, coming to you now. Well, the other obvious fallout of this scandal, if we can call it, is that it's being politicized. The Prime Minister has also been roped into it for endorsing this particular person. In fact, BJP leader Devaraj Gowda had reportedly warned or alerted senior leaders that this was going on since a very long time. What do you make of this scandal? And is it trivializing this entire event by politicizing it, by getting the Prime Minister in, by Rahul Gandhi, in fact, using it as some sort of a plank or a launch pad, to defame and shame the opposition?
Vineet, it is very unfortunate that such incidents are being politicized. Because honestly, Mr. Devaraj Gowda had said that his email was not received. So the question of him sending the letters to the BJP senior leaders is gone. And this has been said by Mr. Mohan Krishna, who is the former media advisor of, ex-CM Mr. Bomai. Now, coming to, why attaching Narendra Modi to this thing? I guess it is very, very stupid of the opposition to do this, because JDS was once an ally of Congress since 2018 for 14 months, right? And some of these videos, they predate to like 7-8 years back. So, and there was a revelation by the whistleblower, the driver, that he had given the pen drive to DK Shiv Kumar like months ago. So why were they holding to this pen drive? Why didn't they file a complaint then and there? They actually enabled Revanna to flee the country. It was not the BJP who enabled Revanna to flee the country. Another very important point is that the Karnataka police comes under the Karnataka Congress government, and they have, initiated an investigation under bailable offences. Mr. Revanna had put up an anticipatory bail, and that had to be revoked because the police said that we have not revoked any non-bailable offense. There is no rape charge in the FIR. So this also creates, if it has to be politicized, there has to, the BJP could ask all these questions. They are asking it, no doubt. But then Amit Shah has said it, made it very clear that that the strictest action would be taken against Revanna. Revanna has given a statement that he would be coming back to India in a week. That's that's secondary. But because he is a sexual predator, allegedly, I think he should be sacked, he should be tried under the law of the land. And because blue corner notice has already been issued, against Mr. Revanna, I think he would be apprehended very soon.
All right. Mr. Sahai, what are the facts of the case, according to you, that, definitely, without a doubt, authenticate whatever charges have been made against Prasanna and some of his family members?
The facts of the case are pretty clear, and the timelines are also clear. And the nature of videos 2,976, which I have not seen, but the nature of videos and the graphic description of the videos which are coming in the public domain brings the evidence, gives it a direction. See, generally what happens in a rape case, if there is one single evidence which is of a digital nature, we hop onto it and we create the whole story, and we are able to get the evidence thereof from circumstantial, from digital and variety of other means. Here you have all the evidence available there, and the timelines which are being spoken about, those are uncontested timelines. In any investigation, if there are 10 facts which are uncontested, to build upon those 10 facts is becomes very, very easy. So this positional power and the people who have been exploited or sexually assaulted, now they are the groups who are coming in close connection with the MP. And that is how that issue has happened. And think of a situation wherein the people will go to their elected representatives to get their work done. And if they go to their elected representatives to get the work done, and if it leads to this sort of a tragedy, I think it is a very, very unsavory sort of a situation. Evidence-wise, based on the digital evidence, I think there would be sufficient evidence at the circumstantial level. Even the scene of offense, I think the backdrop which comes in quite a few of the videos of whatever has been coming in the public domain as to the scene of offense, that will also throw up a variety of very, very solid, rock solid digital evidence. So as an investigator point of view, I think there is enough and sufficient things to move on. And they have to be pieced together. It will be a complex thing because of the nature of the crime. It is a very wide and diversified crime. First, the perimeter has to be decided. Okay, this many women have been impacted from this time to this time. And this is the nature, this is the modus operandi. Primarily, it is happening in this manner. There might be a few which would be of different nature. And finally, the whole thing is coalesced together into what we call as a charge sheet.
Okay. All right. Shamshavish, this is still a contest or a fight between, the marginalized and the powerful. They're experts at exploiting loopholes that exist legally. What reforms do you think that India has made in the last 10, 12 years are likely to pin such predators down and discourage, this kind of a behavior which has become so rampant from our politicians?
As per law, I would say that the laws has been same from past many years. From Nirbhaya case, we have been listening that a new law has come in and speedy trial and all. But no, since the judiciary is so overburdened, everything is slow, everything is going in the same manner, and nothing has changed. Trust me, the matters are being dealt in a similar manner. But yes, I would say that few of the judgments that that honorable high courts and the Supreme Courts have passed, that sets few examples some places. But otherwise, in rape cases, in a POSCO case, in a murder case, everything is same, and it's going in the same manner and same platform.
All right, Esther, once again, it's a question of David and Goliath scenarios, and reforms, however potent they may be, are not going to in fact be helpful if the people who are suffering don't muster up the courage to go against the high and the mighty.
Yeah, that's the reason actually I did mention that we need to actually empower the vulnerable community. Like, we need to disseminate information. We have to extract all forms of resources that are available. In fact, I've said that when the local complaint committee has been constituted at different levels, the proceeding officer, the information pertaining to that, the phone numbers of these people, they have to be made available to these kind of women from the marginalized community. Information is power, as I've said earlier. Once women know that, definitely that will lead to empowerment of these women. Once they are empowered, definitely I'm sure they'll be able to assert and claim their rights, and they will be able to get justice for them.
I think the biggest reform is to provide them courage. I think that reform has to happen. And in case of any victim coming to the fore, there should be a standard security regimen which should follow. The same way you have X, Y, Z and all that. So depending on the nature of crime and depending on whatever that woman requires, there has to be a gradation, it has to be studied, and that sort of a protection has to be provided to her. Besides confidentiality and privacy of the nature which is required, that she is never exposed to the wider world. So that needs to happen.
Right. Ambassador Sajjanhar, a string of high and mighty who have fled the country and still find themselves in comfortable surroundings around the world. Despite India's growing clout, have not been brought back. How can we be so sure that this man is going to be able to evade coming back to India?
I think the nature of the crime is such, in my view, Vineet, that there is, very little excuse that this individual would be able to bank upon to stay away. The others have, whether it is the likes of Vijay Mallya, Mehul Choksi, or the other, the Lalit Modi, those types. They have been basically, as far as financial irregularities are concerned, financial embezzlement is concerned, those sort of improprieties. But I think as far as this case is concerned, this is of a much more serious nature, and as has been mentioned by the other panelists, Vineet, there is incontrovertible and clinching evidence that is available. So, if we have to provide evidence in any court of law to substantiate, to further, strengthen our case that the person is needed here, person is required here for the case to be completed and for the whatever punishment that the courts decide to be meted out to him, I think there is very little ground on which he can bank upon, or he can make any sort of argument. So I think this is a very cut and dry case. It's a very clear cut case. So the individual will not be able to find any thing to sustain any of his arguments that why he should not be extradited, repatriated back to the country to face the charges that have been made out against him. So I think here, as one of the panelists mentioned, the issue has been politicized. It's being thrown from one end to the other like a football. But it basically is, as far as law and order is concerned, is the responsibility of the Karnataka government. And I think they are the one who need to take it in hand and take it forward.
All right, we've run out of time. We'd like to thank all my guests for being a part of this important conversation. We take a short break. Be right back.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.